Hello, hello! Bl'Artagnan here, with Cloudy with a Chance of Squall, the Spring Festival Lufenia Plus fight. We're bringing a team of Machina, Dark Knight Cecil, and Y'shtola. Before we get too deep into it, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, leave a comment down below letting me know what teams you brought, what you thought of the fight, if you pulled on the banners, general thoughts, I want to hear from you. Oh, and don't forget to ring that notification bell, sure would be a shame if I forgot to mention that and you didn't know about that little feature. Anyway. So we got here a team designed not really to interact with the fight, but just to kind of blow it up. And I have to say, I kind of like what's going on here. We have the Rafflesias again from the Vayne cycle. And fittingly, Vayne is actually on the banner for this fight. I actually pulled his burst on the free pull, so that's nice. Sure haven't used him a bunch already. But hey, free burst token's always a good thing. But the Rafflesias were a challenging fight. They had their Break Orb, they had the Turn Warp after 12 actions last time, and of course the big Lufenia Plus reductions that we had to kind of deal with early in Lufenia Plus. All those things are kind of brought back in a different way. Well, the Break Orb isn't here specifically, but it's kind of here, sort of. In a little, I'll get to that. But we have that Turn Warp after and Cleanse after 7 player actions as opposed to 12, so it's tighter. You'll see here I've been kind of trying to carefully manage my setup with when I'm using my calls, my Dark Knight Cecil. Here, Garnet's going to take a zillion D actions because that's how Garnet works. She took the 3 there, she jumped up, so she'll be taking another one before they act, stressing me out just a little bit. Of course, they have their concentrating mechanic where you have to act, I think, 4 times? Well, not act. Anyone else needs to act 4 times before the concentrating Rafflesia goes, otherwise they blow you up. And the orb is kind of interesting. It's +1 on crit, -2 on player action. And then lastly, +8, maxing it out, on a 2-turn delay, which is really funny with the that whole turn warp thing they got going on, because that means there's a fascinating tension between whether or not you can delay them in order to buff the orb without pushing them into a position where you won't be able to let them take a turn before they warp. And I mean, some teams are just going to let them warp and not care. That's great if you could do that, but I really appreciate the tension they've built into this fight with the orb and mechanics kind of pressing against each other. It's pretty cool. Granted, in this case, we've used a combination of crits, and since the orb doesn't go into effect until 80%, we were able to set up nicely with all our debuffs and junk. We have Jack, Kurosame, and Dark Knight Cecil, which is why we brought him here. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. There's also an Abyss requirement. You need to bring a Greatsword. Not that that's too hard to find, but I had to change up my usual Machina lineup here, bringing Dark Knight Cecil in because I was like, oh, I need a Greatsword. Pretty cool. I like that. That's neat. Lockout content, I find, does make things a bit more interesting, so that was kind of cool, having to think a little bit. Anyway, I haven't really been talking about what's been going on in the fight itself, but the basic gist has been I've been carefully trying to time when I use my calls and debuffs and stuff so that I don't take too many turns and make them cleanse, and I let them act a few times, and then I went to Machina Burst. I mean, what more is there to say about this whole thing? A funny thing about Machina in this fight, in fights like this, is that his skill 2 Cyclone Drive actually gets used because sometimes you just want him to pass his turn without taking a bunch of extra turns, and most of his stuff is instant turn rate, so funny how that works out because it's such a meh skill. Anyway, we're almost done here. We're going to hop into the summon to close the deal. I had mentioned earlier, by the way, that the orb, they don't have their Break Orb, but the crit kind of functions like that because off-turn damage I can kind of help offset the orb count since it doesn't count down on their turns. I'm sure any enemy phase counter-style teams, trap-style teams, probably do very well here. I'll probably have to try to come back here with like Beatrix or something. I bet she's dope here. Oh, you know what? I want Dark Knight Cecil in the thumbnail. Let's Holy Prayer right here. Get her out of here so that we can bring in Dark Knight Cecil. Yeah, he did some good work there with his LD, so why the heck not? Thanks, Greatsword guy. There you have it. That's the Spring Festival Lufenia Plus cleared. No synergy. Well, actually, they're all synergy. They're all boosted, aren't they? Yeah, they're all boosted. Okay, well, shows what I know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Adios.